Alright, so what is going on, everyone? Welcome to yet another video on the Astron's channel. Yeah, so this is a bit of a different type of reaction video than we typically do. However, still give this a shot. Sit with me, let's react to this amazing Lockstin video. I have a feeling this will be amazing, seeing his thoughts and ideas semi come to life. It's not really going to be an actual game, but I know that he's probably gonna have some really sick images to depict what he is mentioning and imagining in these kind of videos. But basically, I think it's time for me to give an explanation to what this is instead of just saying this and that. This right here is called the Kaskade Region. It's a project that Lockstin has been working on for quite a while now. Let's see, he's been working on it since last year of July. He has a pretty long series in this, and a lot of you guys have actually requested me to react to the majority, if not all, of this series. It all depends how well this does, so if you want to see this as a whole series of me reacting to his whole series, then be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new. You do not want to miss an Astron's video. Trust me, the other day, I was walking down the street, and then all of a sudden my phone rang. I was like, yo! And then I noticed it was an Astron's notification. I had to run to my nearest McDonald's, sit down, order some snacks, and put it on. I mean, it really is just that easy. So you don't want to miss an upload. Make sure you have those notifications on as well. But yeah, I'm very interested. I don't know really anything about this. There's gonna be a lot of talking, so there's probably gonna be a lot of pausing as well. This could end up being a very long video, which is gonna be one of many. Also, sorry for not really having any skits for this series. The skits are more of a thing for the, more bigger reactions, like the mega Pokemon battle royale, that kind of stuff. And that's what I want to, leave the skits to. Before, this is kind of like a side reaction thing. I still don't even know how you guys are gonna react to, feedback wise to this kind of video. So again, if you would,
back in February, I want to say, I decided to hop on to Fakemon creating. Being essentially a Poketuber who recently has specialized into Pokemon lore and
okay, so quick pause already at the start. So he is definitely going to be centering this around Fakemon. No shocker there. There was a tiny, probably 2% chance that he could just make a new region based off the mons that we already have. But now I get to hear this freaking genius who's amazing at piecing together lore and all these theory crafting for Pokemon. I get to see him literally take this fantastic ideas that he has and make Fakemon out of them. Dude, you can already tell these dex entries for these custom mods and stuff is gonna be crazy. So I'm already pumped for this.
Design origins, I figured trying to create some sort of dream game concept would be a good step to take. It may help me, and even others, get a better appreciation for the work that Game Freak does. Just about every Pokemon these days have multiple layers of meaning to its name and design. And
that is very true, actually. You can kind of tell as times went on. I don't know if Game Freak literally hires a team of people to develop lore for these Pokemon, or just the dex entries and stuff. But the dex entries lately in the recent generations, they've gotten really, really deep, and I really like how they've been roping them in. It's just very solid. Another thing that I kind of get a side note of though is I love this guy's character that he has, the way it has his animations and stuff. His nice little window character. I need to get one of those. I really do. But funding on the channel is a little low. So if you want to support the channel, it's plug time. You know what time it is. It's plug time. The time that nobody cares about. Where I say you can join the channel for $5 a month. All the support goes towards the channel's growth. And honestly, still, even though not a lot of people really are members of the channel, just the few that are, I really only have just pure appreciation for you. Every bit helps a ton, and you get a ton of cool perks, so be sure to check that out down below. Why did I do a plug 4 minutes into the video? Let's continue.
Sure, some are more complex than others, but comparing most Pokemon to most other Pokemon-like games,
true,
it's clear to see who puts more effort into their design inspirations. Choice in art direction is totally subjective, so it's totally fine to hate on Pokemon designs, but at least the majority of Pokemon these last few generations aren't just literally slap an element onto an animal and call it good.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like some shade to, who was it, Nexomon, I think, that does stuff like that. I like Nexomon personally, but I definitely see what he means. They put a lot of depth into their Pokemon designs. Early on, they kind of did that though, where they just take an animal and slap a type in on it. But yeah, now it gets a lot more in depth.
It's a flamingo that's fire type because flamingo
Flamingo.
sounds like flamingo. We're so good. As you'll see in my backlog of videos, I really nerd out when their concepts are just purely amazing. Orbeetle has one of the best design philosophies, or circular reasoning. I don't know what to call it, but it's good, okay?
True.
Anyway, I wanted to make a dream concept, so here's the beginning of a, like, 6-part video series where I'm just explaining all of my-
You know, hold on a second there. This may be a little bit longer than 6. Yeah, this is like 16 parts. Okay, I mean, hey, I'm for it though.
Ideas.
I won't lie.
Not only for a new region filled with new Pokemon, but also several new regional variants and
Oh, this
game
is
mechanics,
real. This is
thought
already roping me
direction,
in.
Of course, legendary lore. And, of course, what better place to start than with the starters? Let's go!
Okay, so where are we gonna take this right now? I wonder what region
Yeah, I should
the region's
probably
getting based
also
off.
mention, I am very bad at art. Like, graphic design, sure. Video editing, sure. Photoshop, heck yes. But don't you
Wow, and I'm bad at all 3. Haha.
dare
Why
ask
did I
me
pause
to
for
draw
that?
anything, because these are the results you'll get. So I commissioned a load of Fakemon artists to help me out with this series. And credit where credit is due.
They're really
While fundamentally the ideas and
They will you can tell like these artists, they really will take like his rough sketches and stuff and they will really make them sick, dog. Amazing talent.
researched connections are mine. I worked with a lot of these designers' own ideas on how to make them look
Ooh,
even better.
these
too.
look awesome.
It really helped a lot. In the case of these starters, they are all the work of Oscar Belmont, at @rgraywind on Twitter. He's also done a lot of
Check them out. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. I just realized I didn't say, make sure to watch the original video if you have not already. Show him the support because obviously it sounds like he's put a lot of thought into this, a lot of money as well. These commissions, they're not free, guys. He definitely puts a lot of money into this as well. So be sure to support the original. I'm such a terrible person. How could I have not have said that earlier? Jesus Christ.
of work for Mr. Buddy, who coincidentally is also doing a region based on the Pacific Northwest right now. So the starters, they need to fit the region they are in at least a little bit, right? I think so. So to fully understand why they are the way they are, you gotta know the region. Welcome to the Kaskade Region.
Okay, so sorry for pausing it, pausing in the middle of his speech, but so this is the region that we're working with right now. We got like 4 little segments. We got a little bit in the middle. You can see the top of that mountain in the middle as well. It definitely has like a massive hot spring. You can see a whole bunch of detail in this map. I wonder, did he sketch this himself and have other artists recreate it? Or did he just give an artist the direction to go? Because if he sketched this, I can tell this took him a lot of time to think of, right? I can already tell this took a lot of time to think of, but the map in itself, I can tell. Wow, there's a lot of detail in this. I know this is a pretty hefty segment to pause, but if you could just take a little bit of your time to really just look at this right now and just really invest your mind into what you're looking at. This looks amazing. Oh my gosh. There's some parts that look really rural, some parts that look really modern. Oh my gosh, it's such a nice contrast. Okay, I'm gonna continue.
Spelled with a K and then a C, but I just kept messing it up and adding a second K, so I decided, screw it, it has a second K now. It's based on where I live, the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
But rather than just literally the Pacific Northwest states, I decided to get a little more creative with it. See, I like when Pokemon regions are based on real places, but they take a lot of liberties with that place. The most recent region is the best example. Galar is based on Great Britain, but if you flipped all of its features upside down and it was basically just England, like England took over Scotland and Wales and moved all the cities around. So what I did with the Kaskade region was take Oregon and Washington, which are similar sized, and basically overlaid them on top of each other, and then mushed in some border elements, so like southernmost British Columbia, western Idaho, and northern California.
Oh,
But I'll
that's
get way
really
more into
sick.
the details in the region video. Here are your starters. Lumpus,
Lumpus!
Therpel,
Therpel!
and Burbworld.
I'd be a Burbworld guy, I think.
You will notice that they fit the theoretical idea that the starters of the same type have certain things in common, like the fire starters coming from something similar to the Chinese zodiac.
Let me know down below if you were able to play through the Kaskade region. Who would you choose as your starter? As I just said, unless you didn't hear me because I kind of talked over him a little bit there, I would probably choose Burbworld, but I don't know. Therpel looked like it's turning into some heat, no pun intended. Like maybe like some really sick, like awesome snake thing. But Lumpus is so adorable. Damn, I think I'd have to see what their final stages look like. I don't know if he's gonna show that in this specific particular video, but oh man, How y'all? I hate when people do this, man. They get me excited for something that I know will probably never come out. Nah, somebody might recreate this one day. Who knows? Maybe he will.
Here's the snake.
Get created.
The grass starter being extinct megafauna. Here's a North American Ice Age camel. And the water starter being a weapon or warrior class. This one's more apparent in its evolutions. So let's start with Lumpus. It's super cute and I love it. It's based on a camelops, which are the common ancestor between camels, llamas, and alpacas. Both alpacas and North American camels have some extremely fluffy fur, and camels are famous for their insane drought resistance, able to store extra water in their humps. So I wanted the plant that it's mixed with to have both of those properties, which pointed me directly to pampas grass. Look at how fluffy it is! While most common in the grasslands of South America, pampas grass and its relatives have made their—
Bro, it's been 4 minutes and this man's already shown how much depth he's put into designing the starters. Yo, I'm sorry, I'm like fanboying right now live. This is crazy.
way all the way up to Oregon as well. And would you look at that? Camel grass, a very close relative.
Oh no.
Camel grass. Would you look at that? Circular inspirations. It was made to be, and its name combines llama with pampas grass. Then we have Therpel, a little fire snake. It's based on the western ground snake, a native to this area, and very, very orange. And then we slapped on a lava lamp and an exhaust pipe. All of these lead well into the evolution.
Oh, I just noticed the exhaust pipe. I don't know why.
Explain more about Therpel too. Oh, and the name comes from thermal, referring to heat, and herp, which references amphibians and reptiles, like herpetology. Also, its face. The poor thing is so nervous and scared all the time. It's petrified. If I don't move, it won't see me.
So I wonder if they're gonna kind of take this, you know, frail, kind of shy, scared thing and kind of flip it on its head. Like, I know Pokemon likes to do that a lot. They kind of did it with Galissopod, except Galissopod's still scared. It's just a lot more intimidating looking, you know what I mean? I wonder what he's gonna do with this. Dude, I'm so excited. I'm for this. Like 3 stages? Wow.
And lastly, Burbworld. Ooh, looky there, a bug starter. I've always wanted one of those. It does mess with their effectiveness triangle quite a bit though, but it's a worthy sacrifice. They just won't start with a super effective move for that famous first fight. You know, like the classic Pokemon games. It's just scratch and tackle all over and over instead of fire blast and you just kill the other one in 2 turns. It's lame. Burbworld's name comes from burble, like a burbling brook. You know, a small stream that makes noise. And whirl, as in whirlpool, and whirligig, which are these things. I
Never
swear,
seen
like
them.
Every coastal city in Oregon has a gift shop dedicated to them. But also there's whirligig beetles. These things. It's a family of water beetle that go by all sorts of names. I always used to call them boatmen because they—
Like, it's crazy to me how he's literally just explained to us how one single part of Burble's named whirl connects to 3 different, like, it correlates to 3 different things. That's crazy. So every single one of these starter trio, it's not just one mon and a type in and maybe like a little bit of a connection to something else. It's that mon fitting into that type and it was given so perfectly. And then its connections to multiple things that regard the original region that this is based off of. That's fantastic. Loxin, bro, kudos to you, dog. You already have shown me that you have the capabilities of making a fire game. I'm so for this. 16 parts? You know how many reaction videos that is? Oh, if y'all haven't dropped a like and y'all haven't, aren't waiting for the next part already, I don't know what to tell you. I'm ready for this.
They look like little boats with 2 oars sticking out the side. Anyway, being the first stage, I wanted to sort of incorporate the larval stage of these beetles in the design, but the problem is that they are disgusting looking.
Yeah.
And starter Pokemon are supposed to be cute or cool or something. So we sort of mixed the larva and adult stages together and gave it a sort of so ugly it's cute kind of vibe.
I like it.
You know, like Snubble, or pugs for that matter. Like, they are as ugly as feasibly reasonable, but they're still kind of cute, I guess.
True.
Oh, and that's a bubble that it's blowing on its head, like how babies have snot bubbles. It mainly uses bubble moves, and it can also blow that bubble big and wear it like a protective helmet. Which gets me to the abilities of all 3.
Ooh,
so another
okay.
big thing you'll need to know for the context of the designs of these starters is the new game mechanic I thought up.
Ooh.
Now, to keep it extremely simple for now, as I'll have a whole explanation video about it later, the whole region has extreme seasons and weather, and has filled the Pokemon here with a sort of weather energy. Battles are not only fought directly like normal, but control of the weather is a big deal again. And certain weather conditions can stack, and there's a whole lot more of them. That'll be its own video. But since that's the whole thing, I wanted the starters to all sort of reference this in their abilities, and even in what they are based on. Burbworld here is able to blow itself an air bubble, which protects it and its line from weather effects that impact air quality. In a way, it's kind of like a Raquinid's head, except it's still an air bubble. Therpel is literally and figuratively hydrophobic. It's scared of getting wet, hence the pattern on its eye making it look worried, but it really has nothing to fear because, well, it's a bit hydrophobic. Water slides off of its rubbery body, rendering it immune to the effects of rain and snow. And then Lumpus. Well, it's a camel, and camel grass, so it's drought resistant. It's immune to weather effects that change temperature. So
okay, so the starters are, so it's the typical starter trio: fire, water, grass. Fire is good against grass is good against water is good against fire. However, their abilities end up correlated in changing that kind of trio a bit, right? So then you have the grass, which is immune to fire, and the fire that's immune to water, and the water that's immune to grass. That is really, really cool. So does that mean that it's flipped on its head? I'm gonna let him talk a little more. Does that mean like water is gonna be good against grass in general, or is that like I wonder what he's gonna do with type charting. That's something I'm really interested in. So let's just see.
Altogether, they cover the spectrum of weather effects. Oh, and one last thing. A big part of starter design philosophy is that they each have their own personalities, often a cute, cool, and funny one. So Therpel is a funny little scaredy cat, snake. Lumpus is just cute as heck. People love it, though a lot of people are also allergic to its fluffy bits. But that doesn't stop it from having a good time. It's just happy in the sun always. And then there's Burbworld, who gets cool later. Trust me. I mean, let's just evolve it right now. This is Spoutlaw.
Yo!
Spout as in water spout and, well, outlaw. A bad guy in the old Wild West.
Yo!
Even got the hat and mustache. It's still based on the same beetle, but now it's the fully adult stage, which actually carry around bubbles like this for breathing when they dive. And
dude, this thing looks trippy as hell. How'd y'all make that little weird bug water thingy look so drippy in 1 second? I never understood when Pokemon did this, bro. It's crazy. They did this with damn, they kind of did this with Score Bunny, right? Like, I liked Score Bunny's original design, don't get me wrong, but then it just turned so drippy and so cool in one stage. Like, what happened, bro? I looked away for 5 seconds, I turned back, dude's out dripping me like crazy. This thing is insane. I'm definitely choosing this as a starter. You cannot tell me otherwise. If this becomes a game, this is my starter, dog.
And some of them even have little mustaches. I love this guy already, but it gets even better. So take a look at the Whirligig Beetle again. See how its forearms are posed like that? Remind you of anything? Anything related to the Wild West? Yeah, it's the cowboy duel pose. The pose that duelers take when they're about ready to draw their weapons real fast and shoot each other. And that's exactly what these water-filled bubbles on its hips are for. It will stand motionless, staring down its opponent.
This is so
and then
sick.
rapidly pinch at its water bubbles and form a water whip attack. Oh, so there's the weapon theming. Okay, so Inteleon took guns, so we did a whip instead. Cowboys used whips too, anyway. Spoutlaw are little ruffians. They plot heists with other Pokemon to steal large quantities of food at once. And it strokes its mustache and tilts down its head all cool-like. But on the inside, it still feels a little bit guilty, which explains why it's not Dark type, as well as its evolution. But before that, let's evolve Therpel. This is Asphalt.
A bigger snake.
I'm way proud of this name. An asp is a type of snake. A fault is a giant crack in the ground, which these guys make all the time while rapidly tunneling. Oh yeah, it's fire ground type now. And together, it sounds like asphalt, the material that roads are made out of. Both because roads are, well, on the ground, it's a type of ground, and because of the term road snakes, which is a colloquial term for those lines you see on a road that's been patched up. They fill in cracks with sealant to prevent them from getting bigger, and to keep water out, because the sealant is hydrophobic. Oh, just like the Pokemon!
Snap!
Full circles again. This is so much fun. Also, all this connection to the road would explain the exhaust pipes too. Neat. Asphalt are no longer afraid of the rain, but they do still spend a lot of time deep underground, absorbing geothermal heat. But when out of the ground, you can see some of their insides moving around like a lava lamp, which made them super popular a few generations ago. And with their exhaust pipe tails, they can propel themselves even faster through the ground. Now, moving on over, Lumpus evolves into Fluff, whose name comes from fluffy,
dumber and
dandruff, dander, and the name Dan, because simple names like that are funny. But also because apparently the name Dan means God is my judge, or positivity. both of which work, I guess. So Fluff here spreads animal dander, basically the thing that people are allergic to animals are actually allergic to most of the time. It spreads it all over the place in the form of dandruff that also acts like pollen. It's a person with allergies' worst nightmare, essentially. But like, it doesn't try to bother nobody, man. It just wants to chill, relax in the sun and the grass. Let nature take its course, live life in the breeze. It doesn't judge. It sees everything and everyone in equal light. It loves to see balance in all things. Sort of referring to a stereotypical idea of what a lot of the people in this area are like, you know? Oh, and look, it's got a little hump now. How cute. And the tooth, nose, and hair are reminiscent of a cartoony caveman, because the main inspiration is the North American camel, which went extinct in the Ice Age. Now, are you ready to evolve one more time? I'm excited. I shared most of everything we've talked about so far on Twitter a while ago, but I saved these for this video. Alfalfa!
Yo!
Here he is! Though incredibly dim-witted, Alfalfa have learned to gain control of their pollen now. It was a lot of work, but it was worth it. All it wants to do is see suffering end, you know? We get enough of that already. Leave as little of a mark on the world as you can. Just relax. Have some grass. The name pulls from Camelops again.
Dude, I always feel so bad pausing, and I've paused a lot in this video as well, so I definitely know a lot of people aren't happy with that. I'm sorry, but if you're watching this reaction video, you probably want to see my reaction, and my reaction is going to come with a bit of discussion when it comes to things like these. So, sorry, that's just how it is. But this is a fire final design, dog. It is, this is fantastic. Everything about this I love. As much as I think I'm still going to stick with the water starter, let's see what the final form looks like. This is really nice. I don't think I would want to stick with the alpaca stuff early on, but this end game is definitely worth it. This would definitely be worth using the grass starter for. Ooh, I'm so excited to see what your guys' choices are, because I really want to talk to you guys about what other starters you would choose and why. These are so cool.
Again, that old llama camel alpaca, which in a way makes it an alpha, a proto, an early build, a precursor to all of those things, hence the alpha in the name. And then alfalfa is a type of grass that is commonly fed to animals, such as domestic llamas and alpacas.
That's sick.
The fluff on its neck and chest are sort of reminiscent of it. Its signature move, Fluff Buff, raises its defenses and evasiveness and fills the air with pollen, one of the new weather effects that I'll explain in the weather video. It's overall on the slower and lower attack side, because, you know, it's just chilling. But it's also quite the tank, having high HP and defenses. Now, I mentioned that pampas grass is primarily found in South America, so we made the hump on this guy as shaped like the American pyramids. And the long leaves and ears on the back of its head are shaped like some Mayan and Aztec headpieces. But what are all these South American references doing in the Pacific Northwest? Well, as I'll explain in a later video, the lore, world building, and all that for the region revolves around a lot of migration and what we gain and lose due to it. But don't worry, it's not preachy trash. But a lot of new Pokemon immigrated to the region. Next up, Asphalt evolves into...
Ooh, fire music.
Tarmondoa. It's now a western ground snake mixed with a rubber boa, which then literally adds an extra layer of rubber on top of it. The name reflects this, as it ends with boa, and the rest of the name comes from tar, mend, which is what road snakes do, and tarmac, another type of road covering, like asphalt, which tends to be more resistant to scuffs and certain weather effects. Tarmondoa is incredibly fast, both above and below the ground, thanks to its propulsion system, and because of its heat, it forms lava tubes while digging. There are lava tubes all over this part of the world. They're neat, I've been in some. Its signature move, Thermal Vortex, has it spin its body towards the foe, creating a spinning and scorching blast of air that hits multiple enemies, and clears any weather conditions that are wet or cold. If there are none, it begins a drought. Overall, Tarmondoa is about its speed primarily. Its other stats are more or less equivalent. But with its evolution, its ability has been tweaked. Rather than simply being immune to rain and snow, it now also halves the damage it takes from water-type attacks. Meaning technically water-type attacks are still super effective on it, but it's ×2 instead of ×4. I mean, that rubber on its back makes it waterproof from that angle. And lastly, my personal favorite of the bunch, Spelt.
So I definitely realized that I took it the wrong way. The weather, like, I guess it can affect you, like it does damage. So I'm guessing rain actually hurts fire types in this game, which makes sense. However, being, you know, the fire starter, having hydrophobic makes it so it's not weak to what, the rain effect. I definitely misunderstood that, and I definitely know there's probably going to be some people that commented that already. And I know that 5 months from now, I'm going to get a random notification of somebody saying, bro, are you stupid? And so I'm just going to say, like, right now, okay, my bad, my fault. I thought of that wrong. I'm pretty sure that's what he means. If not, then I just made myself look stupid 2 times in a row. So now we get to finally see the final stage for our water sheriff boy. What's it gonna be?
Law evolves into Vaquamail.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The edgelord in me is tweaking right now. I need this starter and I need it now. This is like Greninja for me. Oh my gosh. It really is like how I felt seeing Froggy. I was like, okay, Froggy's pretty sick. I love Froggy. Then I saw Froggy here. I'm like, okay, that's like Greninja. And I started spazzing out. This is amazing. Oh my gosh, and then he's about to drop some fire, like, connections to what this name has and this design has. I'm already ready for this, dog. Let's do this.
Between that name and Vaquamail, which do you like better? Vaquamail? Vaquamail. Mail comes from Maelstrom, which is basically a giant oceanic whirlpool, because again, whirligig beetle, whirlpool, ha. And also, aqua is aquatic, and agua is Spanish for water. And vaquero
cool.
is Spanish for cowboy. So when people think the Wild West, they don't usually think of the Pacific Northwest. But like, what do you think the Pacific Northwest was doing during that time period? Yeah, there were still cowboy stuff happening. They just had trees in the background. And seeing as this area was super close to Mexico before the Mexican-American War, and seeing that the Hispanic population here is sizable and still growing, I wanted to reference both in some way. So
cool.
Here's a whirligig vaquero, a lone wanderer, maybe even a sheriff. It always felt guilty pulling heists, but since it once lived as an outlaw, it now knows how they think, making them even better fighters for justice. Their water whip attacks are near unseen, and they can even use that same water whip to form a lasso whirlpool to entrap their enemies. Which brings us to the signature move, Whirl Duel. It whips up a whirlpool, a maelstrom, and launches it at the enemy, which deals damage, traps them in a whirlpool for 3 to 5 turns, and starts a rainstorm.
Whoa!
I freaking love this mon! The hat, the pose, the cowl! Ooh! Vaquamail is a bit of a glass cannon, referencing those Wild West duels. It can deal a lot of damage with its high attack and special attack and high speed, but its HP and defenses aren't great.
Who cares about those?
In case you didn't notice, the 3 of them are all immune to their weakness's weather effect. Alfalfa fills the air with pollen, but Vaquamail is immune to air quality changes. Vaquamail causes rain, but Tarmondo is just immune to rain. And Tarmondo causes droughts, but Alfalfa is immune to temperature-related weather. So that's cool. Technically, overall though, the type triangle is still not perfect. The bug on Vaquamail makes fire balance out on it and gives it an advantage over Alfalfa, but it's not like the official triangles are all perfect, you know? Also, as a set, the evolutions all have some theming in and of themselves. For example, Vaquamail, Spoutlaw, and Burbworld. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Classic Western movie turned saying or trope. We have the hero, an outlaw, and an ugly baby. Therpel, Asphalt, and Tarmondo, it's stop, drop, and roll. You know, the fire safety thing. Smokey Bear is an American icon. Therpel gets scared and freezes in its track. Asphalt drops deep underground, and Tarmondo is a constrictor whose signature move has it roll around, forming a vortex of heat. And then, honestly, the weakest of the 3, Lumpus, Dan Fluff, and Alfalfa are the 3 types of triangles. Because pyramids. Triangles.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Alfalfa is obtuse, because it's dumb. The other definition of obtuse. Dan Fluff is pretty chill and sees everything and everyone equally. It's an equilateral triangle. And Lumpus is acute. Because it's cute. It's really dumb.
Oh my gosh.
But that's what we came up with. So, I'd like to know what you think. Given the choice, which of these 3 would you pick as your starter?
Hey,
or
what
would you
he
just
said?
take one because you have to and then box it once you can because no Pokemon since the generation you played when you were 12 has been good? Let me know down in the comments. These took a lot of work, not just on the artist's parts, but also in coming up with everything. It takes a surprising amount of research trying to fit all these pieces together well enough. So big props to Game Freak and the Pokemon Company who have to consider all of this and even more, like global cultural acceptance, marketability, and how they would utilize their budget when animating them in the anime and what they sound like, etc. They have a big job, and I've definitely got more respect for it now. But we ain't anywhere near done. I've got a region full of ideas, several new Pokemon, new regional variants, legendary lore, and so much more. So many awesome ideas to explain. I'll have a link to a playlist here when that happens, and I hope to see you in the next one as I continue to share my ideas for this Kaskade region in Pokemon Blazing Bloom and Frigid Fall.
Oh wait, is that the first time we've gotten their actual names? I think so, right? Yo, okay, so I'm very excited, as you can tell from this entire video. I somehow made it an 18-minute long video, 30 minutes. So, I mean, for the 5 people that are still here, I want to say thank you for making it to this part of the video, watching this whole thing. If you haven't dropped a like or subscribed yet, what are you doing? What's going on? Do you hate me? My bad. I mean, maybe next time. No, I'm joking. But make sure to, you know, like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're new, you also don't want to miss an Astron's video. Be honest, I know you don't. I know you don't. You really don't. So make sure you have those notifications on, because when an Astron's video drops, you gotta stop what you're doing, get your snacks, and enjoy the ride. So I think I'm gonna go, I don't know, sleep or something. Good night. See ya.